Hi friends, welcome back to a new and interesting session which you would sit in a relaxed manner and watch this episode because we are going to see about mass media. Unit 5, Prose and Language Study from Communicative English. What do you mean by mass media? Mass media is a technology that is intended to reach a mass of audience. It is a primary means of communication used to reach the vast majority of the general public. Okay, I would like to just tell you the difference between mass media and social media. What do you mean by mass media first of all? Mass media puts the people in a passive position. What do you mean by that? They either passively listen to the news or passively watch the television. They observe it, that's all. There won't be any interaction or there won't be any sharing. Fine, immediately. Sharing in the sense what? Immediately. They won't raise any questions immediately. They may share it later, after listening or after watching it, they may share it to their friends. But they won't be able to put the question whichever is raised in their heart immediately, right? That's why I am telling you as passive position. Whereas social media is, we immediately raise questions, we immediately share whatever we have in mind through Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, right? So, it keeps the people very active. Fine. Shall we go to the topic now? Yeah. What are the most common platforms for mass media? Yeah. Newspapers, magazines, radio, television, and the internet. Friends, I'd like to ask you one question. We are all having an experience with radio, television, internet these times. Whereas in olden days, our elders, how would they have known about the news of the world? Yeah, through newspapers. Only through the printed material as newspapers. Whereas nowadays we are able to feel. That is, we are able to hear. We are able to see through our eyes. Especially everything comes in front of us through the television. Right? We are able to see that. Right? The general public typically relies on the mass media to provide information regarding political issues, social issues, economical issues, entertainment, and news in pop culture. Right? Yeah. So, when we speak about entertainment, what all we see nowadays? Yes, movies. Yes, cartoon networks for small children. Talk shows, superb. Music shows. Yes, what do? Immediately after seeing all these things, we go and discuss this along with our friends. Because they also have the same wavelength. Likewise, children, what do? They go and enjoy and share all these things with their moms and dads, right? Yeah. And elders, what do? They share the news from the world along with their friends. This is how mass media helps. Mass media reaching beyond the horizon. This has been written by Mr. Carlson, an American writer. What does Mr. Carlson say? When he was nearly 7 years old, they did not have a private channel. That is what he says as basic cable. What do you mean by basic cable? Different channels what we have nowadays, right? We pay for that. Don't we? Yeah. So, he had to watch only the PBS. I'll tell you the full form for PBS later. That was like our national network. In that, he had a very favorite show, Mr. Arthur and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was a story which gave a very good moral value to the children, which taught moral values and life skills, how they should live in their life skills in their. His favorite show was Arthur and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood was his favorite show because it actually taught the children social and problem solving skills, right? They could prepare for the life, how to lead their life. So it was an interesting show. Especially, what did Mr. Carlson think? He thought that because he was small, right? He thought that Mr. Roger and the author's granny, they were so great friends, and when the author slept, he thought they would be sitting on the sofa and they would be chatting as if Mr. Roger and author's granny would be chatting. Fine. Even we also would have thought like that. We would have come across many imaginative characters, right? What would we think? We would think that they were all having life and they all came to our thresholds to meet our old ones, right? We would have experienced the same, right? After 7 or 8 years, what happened? Mr. Carlson's family, they had a basic cable. That's what. They got many private channels. How you concentrate, how you enjoy in the talk shows. How you enjoy listening to music shows. How you enjoy the movies. He was also able to see many channels like Digimon, Pokemon, Shinchan and all other favorite channels. Even the small ones, 8, 9, 10 years old children, what do? They act as if they are Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Hulk, yeah, right. Likewise, he also watched favorite shows. What happened? The moment the basic cable entered his house, all his playing had gone. You start playing and you don't eat at all. You don't sleep properly. Am I right or not? Yes. And have you played? Do you concentrate on any of the games? You sit and watch. That's all. Cricket or football or whatever it is. You have never taken an effort to go and play outside because you always take a mobile and you start playing games in the mobile itself. That's not healthy, right? Likewise, even the children also nowadays, they don't go and play in the garden. Whereas, in olden days, what did they do? The children, what did they do? they had enough time to run, jump, play very well, right? So their bodies were very fit. They were so healthy. Nowadays children, they always sit in front of the TV and they watch TV shows and serials and all other channels where there is no work at all for the body, and naturally there is no exercise for the body, right? Likewise, the writer also started watching many channels. Fine. Later what happened when he came to collegiate education? His watching serials or whatever it is, it stopped. It got stopped. His favorite TV show was Vaudeville. It's a theatrical drama which is very comical actually. You would have also come across Comedy Central, Friends, Comedy Central, right? People would be laughing, right? So he was also very much interested in comedy show. So he was so much interested in comedy shows. He was not interested in stories, big stories, because it was time taking. Usually young ones, they don't want to sit in a place and watch a particular thing, right? Because they won't be able to share it along with their friends, because the wavelength should go together. A person, a student or a young man or young girl may like one thing, right? If she or he is a friend of the other, he or she should also have the same liking towards that particular thing. Then only they can share things. If it is a long story, they won't be able to share or they won't have that much interest. In fact, you people also won't sit in front of serials, right? Only old ones, they would like to watch serials because they want to share along with their friends. So, Mr. Carlson did not have much time to watch TV in later days. So, ultimately, what does he come to say? If you don't watch TV or something, you won't be able to share anything and you won't have anything to talk about. That is what he comes to say. But the inner meaning is, apart from watching television or anything, we don't do anything at all useful. We become very much addicted to it. We always sit and watch television and we get addicted to it and we lose our golden time. In fact, children, what do? They think as if they are Spider-Man, they are Ant-Man, they are Hulk, and they start doing in such a way how Spider-Man does. They try to do it. Is it not dangerous? See, mass media helps us to know the world. I agree. But it is disadvantageous also. This is what the writer comes to say. Fine. Hope you would have understood the concept of this chapter. Once you go through the chapter, you will come to know what all I have told you. Right? Yeah. Now let's go to glossary. PBS. It's a noun. What do you mean by PBS? Public Broadcasting Service. Validate. Soundly reasoned. It's a verb. Genre. It's a noun. A style pertaining to fine arts. What do you mean by fine arts? Dance, music and all. In TV shows, in music shows, you would have listened to the word genre. You sang this genre beautifully. Likewise, the judges used to use such a word. What do you mean by that? Folk genre, classic genre, western genre, rap genre. Do you understand? That is the meaning of genre. Next, binge. That's a verb. Feasting spree. It's a feast to your eyes. It's a feast to your ears. Everything. Sitcom. Situation, comedy. It's also a noun. Situational comedy. Accessible. It's an adjective. Easy to reach. Deva. It's a verb. Take in. Core. It's a noun. Routine, task. Now friends, I would like to tell you how you should read. For what purpose do we read, first of all? To understand a concept, take it into our heart. If at all a question is put, we should be able to answer from the particular paragraph, right? Reading part. Read the following text and answer the questions below. I think 2 or 3 paragraphs have been given for you to understand and few questions have been put, for which you have to search the answer from the paragraph and write it. Right? I am just giving you an example. Television addiction. What is it? The average person spends about 3 hours a day sitting in front of the TV set, which is half of their leisure time. And it is known that heavy viewers report watching 8 hours a day. The question is, are these people addicted to the television? So, if at all you are put a question, what is television addiction? You should be able to understand that the people, those who sit and watch the TV all the time are addicted to television. You can write it on your own also, but it should be correct. Then only people can understand that you have observed it or you have grasped the meaning of the comprehension. Right? Next paragraph. How to avoid it? Keep a record of how much TV you watch and when you watch. Do this for 1 week. List all the other fun activities you can do at home instead of watching TV. Place your list on your refrigerator so you can check this list before you turn on the TV. Set a limit for how much TV you will watch in 1 week. Record your time and stick to your commitment. Consider removing your TV for a set period of time. You might find yourself talking to your family again instead of watching the TV. What do you understand from this? There are few tips given for avoiding TV or getting out of the addiction of watching TV. Right? The question is, how can you come out of the addiction of watching TV? Where should you keep or what should you do before you try to come out of this addiction? And then, what would you do to avoid watching TV for a long time? If you once practice answering such questions, if you get paragraphs or comprehension, so that you would be able to answer questions from those paragraphs, right? Try doing this. Shall we go to the next? Yeah. Let's see few professionals' name, especially media professionals' name. Shall we try to connect them? Editor. What does he do? Writes a regular foreign correspondent. Decides how the pages should be. Now we are going to see the professionals who does. Now we are going to see about the professionals and their works. We are given this as a task. You have to connect it. Okay. Shall we do it? Shall we? Yeah. Editor. What does he do? Yeah. He is responsible for production. A foreign correspondent. He is a journalist based abroad. What does a camera operator do? Yes. Operates a camera filming TV programs. A columnist writes a regular column. What does a publisher do? Yes, responsible. He is responsible for publishing and telecasting. What is a continuity person's work? His responsibility is for continuity. He is responsible for continuity. Critic. What does he do? He reviews books, films, music, etc. What does a sub-editor do? What is his responsibility? His responsibility is to decide how the pages should be. Next, you are given a grid in your book. You have to try few words. Fine? Now, let's go to the next topic, friends. We have been seeing about the prose now. We are going to see the language study. In this language study session, we are going to talk about British English and American English. British English is nothing but the speech which has O sound a lot. For example, how are you? Have you taken your dinner? And the spellings also would differ. Pronunciation would be the same, whereas the spelling would differ. Shall we see? Yeah. In British English, the spelling for the word check, what we sign and give in banks, that is CHEQUE. Whereas in American English it is check, CHECK. For color, in British English it is COLOUR. Whereas in American English, U is minus, COLOR. Most of our laptops and desktops would have American English dictionary. When you type COLOUR, you will have a red mark showing that your spelling is wrong. That means that particular laptop or the desktop has American English dictionary in it, right? Now, we are going to see few more spellings for British English while the words are given in American English. Favorite. What should you do? You should add U next to O. For program, you should add one more M along with the M and put E. Traveler, one more L should be added. Theatre. For theatre, R should come before and E should be written the next. pediatric. Few words change completely in American English. What are they? Fish finger, fish sticks. Diversion, detour. Cooker, stove. Antenna, aerial. Garden, yard. Football, soccer. Apartment, flat. Cab, taxi. Can, tin. Cookie, biscuit. Corn, maize. Eraser, rubber. Drapes, curtains. Faucet, tap. Flashlight, torch. Highway, motorway. Line, queue. Mail, post. Fall, autumn. Fries, chips. We used to say as French fries. They call it chips. Elevator, lift. Garbage, rubbish. Overalls, dungarees. Gasoline, petrol. Truck, lorry. Sneakers, trainers. Vest, waistcoat. Tire, tire. See the spelling for tire? Subway, underground. Shall we see few more examples? Yeah. At the weekend, on the weekend. To bath, to bathe. Brackets, parenthesis. Fire brigade, fire department. Fortnight, 2 weeks. Full stop, period. Maths, math. Mum, mom. So friends, you have been listening to the class. Hope you'd have enjoyed and you'd have understood what all has been dealt with. So, till I meet you in the next session with some other new interesting topic. Thank you.